Hello everybody, so today I wanted to showcase the UI engine which is used to create dynamic conversational AI agents from a single prompt that streams all kinds of interactive UI elements like buttons, images, cards, carousels, even YouTube videos. The setup takes seconds now as long as you have a website with rich information. We can take that information, scrape it with the crawler, and the setup is done. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it. All right, so first of all, I wanted to mention some of the problems that we have faced with creating these bots. So we have here an SMMA agent that is targeting basically real estate agents, and we have created them a pretty basic bot. And as you can see, like for the pricing, for example, we have a lot of hard-coded values. You see, like all of that is hard-coded. If any of these values change, we'd have to manually change them. And basically, what I mean is, it is not really dynamic. There's a lot of hard-coded values here. And of course, some of you would say you could use an API or you could use a setup to change the variables on here. And of course, you'd be right, but the setup would also be annoying. So this is why we have created the UI engine, which is a mix of dynamic responses, but that also can interact and give you UI elements. So as you can see, this is the pricing response that we get for the voice flow bot, and as you can see, it's basically hard-coded. If anybody asks for the pricing information, it will always give the same exact response, which is going to feel a little bit robotic. All right, so let's jump to our voice flow agent that we have created with the UI engine real quick. And yeah, from the get-go, if you reset the agent, you can see that the buttons are actually being streamed in. So yeah, let's actually try to see the pricing. You can see like even the query for the pricing is a variable as well. And as you can see, it is going in like a chart and rendering these cards very similar to how it was viewed here. As you can see, like it's even providing more information on every card, like what you'd receive and the pricing, and also these buttons, of course, they do work. They link to the setup a demo page, so you can talk with them, and even the video that was shown here is also being shown here. Now of course, it's different here. It actually shows the pricing, but here it shows like the product overview, which is in this scenario it's like fine, but sometimes you'd want more control. And this is of course this is one of the cons of the system. It of course looks cool that it's streaming these UI elements, but sometimes you would need some more control over these elements, and this is where prompt engineering comes in. As long as you perfect the prompt, this is the only way you can like control the agent, is through the prompt. So right now, how we are controlling the bot to give out these buttons is actually like through the prompt. Like we are just mentioning you're working for a platform that help real estate agents establish their online presence, and just giving some brief overview of liftoff. But then telling it, hey, whatever you respond with, make sure to always include these buttons. And this is exactly what it does. For any response that it gives out, it gives these buttons. So for example, if I tell it, hey, I don't want this button anymore, and then save, and then go back and reset, as you can see, it's going to give out only 3 of these buttons. VoiceFlow offers so much more control, but you also have to do a lot of manual setup. So for every tech stack, there is a lot of pros and cons, and ultimately the use case will define what tech stack you use. Let's just compare some more responses for both of these bots. Let's just see the testimonials. And as you can see, it's given out some pretty good responses here with these lovely cards. So let's see the same kind of response on our voice flow agent. Let's reset. All right, let me see some testimonials. As you can see, you can also see like what kind of information it's getting, and as you can see, it's still outputting the same kind of cards, and yeah, I think it should output a video as well. Yep, here you go. Definitely looks pretty good, but compared to this, now this actually have a lot of like video testimonials and all of that. If I ask it, hey, can you showcase some of the websites you have created? Let's see, now this is like still a completely dynamic query, and as you can see now, it's going to give us all of the lovely cards that we have, and I think it's going to hit the maximum token limit here. Okay, thankfully it didn't, yeah. sometimes it will hit the maximum token and like it's just stuck. But if you visit some of these links, as you can see, this is a real estate agent. Uh, this one is also a real estate agent, and it captured all of that from the landing page, which is lovely. Now, of course, if I ask it the same kind of, like if I ask the same kind of query, here's what I want you guys to understand. If I ask the same kind of query, it's just going to give out the same exact response. Or it's just going to, of course, it's going to trigger the AI response, which is just text. Even if this worked, it is just going to output text. But again, maybe a text response in your scenario would be more than enough. But for our scenario, we needed these kind of cards and these kind of videos all the time. And yeah, the dynamic response most of the time is always pretty good as long as the KB is good. All right, pretty good. Now for the last couple of questions that I'd love to like compare, of course, this is a very basic bot on VoiceFlow. We can do like a much better job. You guys can do much better jobs creating bots in like any stack. But I just wanted to like have like a more general approach to this. So if I ask it a more general question like, who is the founder of Liftoff? All right, now let's see if it's going to understand. Great, it's going to understand that the founder of Liftoff is Norman Kinski, and this is the VoiceFlow UI engine. All right, so if I ask it here, who is the founder of Liftoff? It's also going to give out the valid response of Norman Kinski. All right, now let's try something like features overview. Let's see if it can understand and link both of these together. I believe it's going to work without issues. And yeah, this is one of the problems with the intent. Sometimes if it's like, of course, the features is something similar to services, but sometimes the intent is not good enough to understand that they are both good. I would assume this happens very rarely, that it doesn't like do that. But if it does, whenever it does, it just gives out only text responses. And if you have like buttons at the end, it outputs the buttons as well. Sometimes this is enough, but let's just try the same on here as well. Let's reset. All right, now let's ask it for features. Features over. Okay, don't know what I'm writing here. Yeah, I'll just let it understand on its own. And as you can see, pretty nice that it's always going to output these lovely cards here. And as you can see, this is actually like all of that is scripted from their website. Even the video is also scripted. I think this video is pretty new as well. And the setup that we had to do to make sure that this like appears, we didn't have to like manually add this video onto our like prompt or anything. It was in the knowledge base because we had it refresh. But on the other hand, even if our VoiceFlow agent has access to these videos and these images, it still cannot output them on its own. We have to manually add these elements. Now again, for every tech stack, there is a lot of pros and cons. For advanced use cases, VoiceFlow agents are going to do a bad job. Like I'm just going to give you the main con out of the box. This is good for only small to mid-sized projects. It is not yet tested with really big advanced AI agents, or where you have like, I don't know, like 20 intents and a lot of like post requests and a lot of error handling, a lot of like, basically if you have a lot of scenarios basically that you can't really describe in the prompt, this is where this will definitely do a much worse job. I was just highlighting the use case for the UI engine. And for basically basic websites like this, where you have just basic information, even for Shopify stores as well, we have a use case for Shopify stores coming soon. Most of the time, this would be enough. Also, if some of you are wondering, what if I need the AI agent to like send emails or retrieve something from a database? This is exactly why the tools are here. With tools, you could let the AI basically on its own as well send emails or do any kind of action. You can connect it to Zapier or Make. You can also easily test how the AI is using the tool. There will also be an in-depth tutorial to how to use them. with a proper example. The crawler as well, if you're wondering how we crawled the whole information for our liftoff agent here, this is all the information that we have crawled. And as you can see, all of that are URLs. And as you can see here, this is actually just Markdown, but it's scraped in a way that makes sense of the images and the content, so that if I ask for like the features, it's actually going to get the images and of the features that that Liftoff provides. Now we have spent a lot of time developing the crawler, but basically you just go here to this page here, you create a new job, and most of the time it does a better job right now if you have a sitemap. If the website doesn't have a sitemap, it can work, but if it has a sitemap, it's going to do a much better job. So let's just take this URL and add it here. I don't want it to like this will make it so that it automatically scrolls and loads images. This is only important for Shopify. I found that Shopify has a lot of like bot protections, so you'd need to enable that for Shopify stores. For other websites, I think this is not going to be needed. And let's just scrape up to 100 pages, and we are going to only match this URL here. So that means if anything that has this in it, basically, the www dot would be scraped. So after I do this, I just start the job and let it run for some time. Now, it does take a lot of time, to be honest. Sometimes it takes a couple of minutes to scrape a lot of pages, but once it's done, as you can see, this has scraped all of the sitemap and the URLs that Liftoff basically has, and it's going to start scraping all of the information. But yeah, if you take a quick look at what it's scraping, you could see here, for example, this is just why would you build. I think this is from like a blog or something. Of course, you can. I highly suggest, like in the crawler phase, you only input the stuff that matters, because like overwhelming the KB can be actually bad sometimes. All right, so after the script job is done, you can easily import it to any agent that you have. Of course, only voice flow agents, and also you could export them to use anywhere really. If you have like an external KB, this also works. If you can easily like export them and then download the result. This is just a zip file with all of the text information. But yeah, basically this is a very quick overview of the crawler and the tools. There will be much more in-depth tutorials coming soon, in addition to much more use cases in the future. But yeah, this is just to showcase what you can create with the UI engine. But yeah, I think that's it for now. Thank you for your time, and have a great day.